Uh,
Big ball, flat, making my end. Fucking big killer, hot. Big ball, flat, making my end.
yeah.
Fucking big killer, hot.
What up, y'all? Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy, Sports God TV, where we talk sports like religion. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. Click that notification bell so you could get notified when I upload. Share the content, jump in the comments. Let's get it cracking. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is, man. This upcoming Saturday, September 13th, in Allegiant Stadium, the home of the Los Angeles Raiders. Versus, this is the biggest fight in boxing right now, right? You have my favorite fighter, Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terrace Bud Crawford. Undisputed super middleweight championship fight on the line. These boxes are pretty much perfect when it comes to being, boxers. You know what I'm saying? You got Canelo Alvarez, who's 63 wins, 2 defeats, 2 draws, versus Bud Crawford, who is 41-0. Perfect record, right? Now, you got almost 100 fights worth of experience that's get ready to throw down on this Saturday. You know, Terrace Bud Crawford is the former Undisputed Welterweight and Light Welterweight champion, right? And you do got Saul Canelo Alvarez, who's the undisputed super middleweight champion, right? This should be a wonderful fight. Now, Terrace Bud Crawford has moved up from 47. He made one fight at 54, and then he jumps up to 68. Terrace Bud Crawford didn't look great in his debut at 154. It looked like the power that he had at 47 didn't carry to 154, as he had a pretty tough fight, but at the same time, a win is a win. You get the win, and, you is better as your last fight. That's what they say. But at the same time, this is a big fight. This is, the biggest fight of Bud Crawford's career, besides the fight with Errol Spence Jr., which we all witnessed. That was a total beatdown from Bud Crawford, right? And then you got my man Saul Canelo Alvarez taking on the challenge, actually fighting a black fighter, which is great for boxing. You got Mexico versus an American-born fighter from Omaha, as Peyton Manning put that Omaha, Nebraska on the map with his audibles at the line of scrimmage. Y'all are very familiar with that, right? Now, Saul Canelo Alvarez being my favorite fighter since the fight with Floyd Money Mayweather, since Floyd retired. Floyd has always been my favorite fighter as a boxing fan, and I took a liking to Saul Canelo Alvarez after that fight. Even though he lost that fight, I just felt like he would eventually become the face of boxing, which he has became, the cash cow of boxing. And I just like Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, Terrace Bud Crawford is a hell of a fighter. He can fight southpaw. He can fight orthodox. He's a great counterpuncher. He's a very intelligent fighter inside of the ring. He knows how to use his ring generalship. He's calculated. And he's a competitor. Everything Terrace Bud Crawford do, He's just a flat out athlete. Let me say that, right? If you see him playing flag football, the Joker could run and catch the ball like he's been playing receiver his whole life. He can actually throw the ball. He can hoop. He can wrestle. He's just an athlete. Everything Terrace Bud Crawford do, he looks competitive while doing it, and he's actually great at whatever it is that he does. And I can respect that as a former athlete myself. Being multi-talented at different things is something that you take pride on, and I'm sure Terrace Bud Crawford takes pride in that as well. Then you have Saul Canelo Alvarez. Like I said, he was undefeated up until the point where he fought Floyd Money Mayweather. I believe in that fight with Floyd Money Mayweather, it taught Saul Canelo Alvarez a whole lot about the sport of boxing, even though he had a ton of fights leading up into that fight. I believe Floyd taught him how to keep distance. I believe Floyd taught him enough when it comes to setting up punches. I believe Floyd taught him different angles in the ring that you can use to set up certain punches. And you know, Saul Canelo Alvarez recently, it was some photos leaked, and obviously some news came out of him sparring with Jerron Boots Ennis, who's also similar to Terrace Bud Crawford when it comes to fighting from a southpaw standpoint or an orthodox standpoint, right? And Jerron Boots Ennis is also a young lion in the ring, one that is very intelligent in the ring as well. Now, there were reports that Jerron Boots Ennis was getting out on Canelo Alvarez. I mean, it's sparring, ladies and gentlemen. Take what you will with that. I don't put too much stock into a sparring section. But what I do take stock in is Canelo Alvarez getting the feel for what he is about to face in Terrace Bud Crawford. A skilled fighter that can fight from southpaw or orthodox, a fighter that is quick, that can counter punch really good, even though Canelo is a counter puncher as well. But one that takes the time to calculate and collect data along the fight. I think that was a great move by Canelo Alvarez to spar with Jerron Boots Ennis. You had some folks saying that Jerron Ennis sold out. Oh man, he sold the community out because he's sparring with Saul Canelo Alvarez. I don't look at it that way. I just think that Jerron Boots Ennis is a hungry young champion. He had an opportunity to spar with Saul Canelo Alvarez. It doesn't make me think that Jerron Boots Ennis has anything against Terrace Bud Crawford at all. It's just Jerron is hungry. Jerron wants to get some work in. He wants to fight. He wants to be a household name himself. So kudos to Jerron Boots Ennis for taking up the offer with Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, getting to the fight. Experience, both fighters are very experienced. The only difference in this fight when it comes to experience-wise is that Saul Canelo Alvarez is experienced at the super middleweight division. He has fought at that weight for a period of time, and Bud is actually moving up. Now, photos leaked about Bud, how his body looked, man. He looked tip-top shape. He looked like he gained the weight. He looks like he is carrying the weight well. And then go back to what I said as far as him just being a flat-out competitor. I believe Bud Crawford, skill-wise, is a little sharper and a little better than Saul Canelo Alvarez. Hands down. That is not a doubt in my mind, right? But what I can say is Saul Canelo Alvarez is also experienced and also skillful and he does set traps, and he will walk you down. Here's the thing. If Terrace Bud Crawford's power didn't carry over from 47 to 154, and he's moved up, even though he has put on weight to fight Canelo at the super middleweight division, will Bud Crawford's power affect Canelo? Because if it doesn't, because Canelo has a solid chin, he's never been on the canvas, he rarely even seems hurt in the ring, Bud will have a problem. Because if Bud hit him with a good shot and Saul doesn't get affected by that shot, Saul will walk Terrace Bud Crawford down. Hands down. He will walk him down. Now, I expect Bud Crawford's approach in this fight will be similar to what it was when he fought Errol Spence Jr. If they get into some type of close range battle, which I don't think would be wise with Terrace Bud Crawford, but the ability he does have to be able to counter, to be able to slip, to be able to step back and punch, could be effective. But he had to pick his spots within the fight. I don't expect him to try to go an all-out war with Saul Canelo Alvarez, unless when he gets hit by Alvarez, if he feels as though that he can take Canelo's punches, then maybe so. But we have seen in the past where Bud has been rocked by lesser opponents when it comes to what Saul Canelo Alvarez brings to the table. I do expect Terrace Bud Crawford to win some rounds for sure. I really do. I think he'll be ahead early in the fight, but I think as the fight weigh on, I think the experience at the super middleweight division for Canelo will start to reign supreme. I don't see a knockout in this fight. It's hard for me to see that happen, but at the same time, I think when it gets clutch, you know, and especially just before you get to those championship type rounds, I think Saul Canelo Alvarez pull it out in a really close decision. I think the fight will be really exciting because, again, you got Mexico versus an American-born fighter who is super ultra competitive. I think that this is what boxing needs. And even though, you know, Bud Crawford is taking a risk by jumping up 2 weight classes for real, because like I said, he only had one fight at 54. But, you know, I think it's going to be a really competitive fight. I mean, I cannot see anyone getting knocked out in this fight. I could see a very competitive fight, potentially. Now, if Bud doesn't calculate his energy in this fight, considering that he's fighting at a heavier weight class and he's carrying more weight than normal when it comes to being inside of the boxing ring, it could have an effect on Terrace Bud Crawford. But I don't look at Terrace Bud Crawford as one of those type of fighters that is just going to tire out. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. He always appears to be in tip-top shape. So I think from an athletic standpoint, I believe that he will be locked in for this fight. Body-wise, there's no excuses. There's no reports of coming out of camp as far as any injuries lingering or anything like that. Not like they will leak that type of stuff anyway. But at the same time, I think that he will be well prepared from a physical standpoint, from an endurance standpoint. But I just think that over time, with the shots that Canelo will deliver, because he will deliver some shots, I just think it takes a little toll on Terrace Bud Crawford. And I expect Saul Canelo Alvarez to remain undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. Though Terrace Bud Crawford is one of them ones that if it was to go down, he could be the one to defeat Saul Canelo Alvarez. But I'm rolling with my dog, Saul Canelo Alvarez, with a decision victory over Terrace Bud Crawford. Give me your thoughts and comments on how you see this fight playing out this Saturday, Allegiant Stadium, September 13th, the main event. You know what I'm saying? Will Bud Crawford make history? Or will the cash cow, Saul Canelo Alvarez, continue to reign supreme? It's your boy, Sports Guy TV, where we talk sports like religion, and I'm out. Until the next time.